Part 24. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 231. Yang Tian opened the auction house and put 8 level 30 high-level energy gems on the shelves, and then bought 8 level 35 high-level energy gems in seconds. Muddy Water, ID. Occupation, Undead Overlord. Warzone, China. Empire, Dragon Empire. Bloodline, Goblin Spirit Bloodline. Title, Royal Commander, Bloodthirsty Demon King, Low-Key Warrior, Rich Man, Super Explorer, Heavy Price, Critical Hit Master. Level 38. HP, 170,000. MP, 220,000, recovers 20,000 M per minute P. Asterisk Magic Attack, 40,000. Dark Power 650, Light, Fire, Ice Power 600. Dark Resistance 1800, Light, Fire, Ice Resistance 1500. Armor Penetration 350. Steel Protection 650, Magic Protection 600. Absolute Crit Damage, 680%. Skill Points, 21. Normal Summons, LV11 Skeleton Warrior, LV10 Skeleton Mage, LV10 Skeleton Archer, LV7 Wraith, LV7 Zombie, LV6 Mummy, LV6 Self-Explosive Spider, LV6 Adhesive Spider, LV6 Headless Knight. Rare Summons, LV7 Werewolf Zombie, LV7 Man-Eating Grass, LV6 Steel Cannon Cart, LV6 Zombie, LV6 Werewolf Zombie King, LV6 Little Demon, LV5 Vampire, LV4 Vampire Count, LV3 Nether Assassin, LV3 Black Knight. Ordinary Skills, LV10 Bone Spear, LV8 Damage Amplification, LV7 Cursed Arrow, Ghost Hand, LV20 Bone Shield. Rare Skills, LV8 TP Bone Spear, Blink, LV3 TP Cursed Arrow, Passive, LV8 TP Summon Skeleton Warrior, Passive, LV6 Darkness Coming, LV3 Dark Sea of Fire, LV3 Curse, LV3 Weakness, Corpse Explosion. Special Skills, Skeleton Manufacturing, Eye of Truth. Professional Exclusive Skills, Undead Slavery, Undead Transformation, Extreme Summoning. Equipment Additional Skills, Life Mirror, Luck Addition, Ice Array. Bloodline Skills, Grease the Solace of the Feet, Movement Speed add 30% within 60 seconds, 5 minutes cooldown. Yang Tian glanced at the attribute panel and felt extremely powerful. In this week, not only has his level increased, but many of his skills have also been upgraded. If he uses the extreme summoning to summon 10 teams of undead, he will summon an army of more than 200 undead at a time. How magnificent it is! Yang Tian maintains it for 1 second, consuming more than 7,000 mana, in other words, with his current mana of more than 220,000, he can only maintain it for about half a minute. Of course, the undead are very fragile. In reality, there are only a few undead that are still alive after half a minute. Then Yang Tian's current mana, plus the automatic mana recovery of energy gems and the mana recovery of large bottles of spring water, is barely enough. Yang Tian's biggest improvement this time is the Bone Shield, which is already LV20. The Elemental Shield upgrades very quickly. As long as the mage turns on the Elemental Shield and carries monsters, his proficiency soars. But ordinary mages don't dare to carry monsters at all. Yang Tian's all-round development is enough to carry monsters, so he upgraded the Bone Shield to LV20. In fact, there is one more point. Yang Tian has the absolute hatred of the little devil, and can make many monsters around him besiege him. In this way, his proficiency in Bone Shield will naturally soar. Bone Shield, LV20 Bone Shield life is 2000% of basic magic attack, and dark resistance add 300, lasting 60 seconds, cooling time, 60 seconds. Yang Tian now has more than 40,000 basic magic attack, releases Bone Shield, and the life of Bone Shield exceeds 800,000. What is this concept? Yang Tian has high defense and thick blood, plus Bone Shield, just like a humanoid boss. Yang Tian teleported to a wild map in Ping'an City. Of course there is a teleportation array of the Dragon Empire. Then, he summoned Xiao Lei to ride on and prepare to enter the city. Now Xiao Jin has reached level 35, and he can buy a level 30 Imperial Weapon 9-piece set for Xiao Jin. On the other side, PK Field, room number Demon God Captain Assessment. There are 30 people in the room, each of whom is the captain of the Demon God War Hall. Huang Xiaolong, as the captain of a team, is naturally among them. They were both men and women, all of them were top-notch masters, usually arrogant, but now they were in awe of a woman. She had big eyes, a beautiful nose, and fair skin, and was a rare beauty. She had a pair of sword-like eyebrows that were rare in women, showing a heroic spirit, but her face was extremely cold, covering up that heroic spirit, as if only ice was left. With long lavender hair, a purple robe, and a long sword, she was actually a female swordsman, looking elegant and yet tough. She was a person airborne by the high-level demon god, responsible for this captain assessment. She challenged all the captains one by one, and if she was not satisfied with a captain, she even had the right to demote him directly. Because of this, the captains who were usually arrogant seemed to be humble in front of her. Of course, she also had another identity, that is, Huang Xiaolong's ex-girlfriend, Ziyi Yan, ID Hanjian Yuxiao. Next, the captain of the fifth team, Jinzhou Ziyi Yan stood on the stage holding a sword, looking down at the captains and calling out their names. Sister Xiao is young and very strong. She has defeated 25 of our captains in a row. I don't know if Brother Zhou can suppress her. Some defeated captains looked at Ziyi Yan with admiration and fear. Here, there is no concept of age. Whoever is stronger is the elder brother and the elder sister, and can be respected. In addition, Ziyi Yan is the woman of their boss, the Demon God Guild President Qian Ji. This identity alone is enough to make them call her sister. Soon, the captain Jinzhou, who was named, walked onto the stage and stood opposite Ziyi Yan. Jinzhou was about 30 years old, with small eyes like green beans, and looked quite wretched. He was an assassin. Stealth. Soon the countdown ended, and Jinzhou entered the invisible state, showing his wretched nature, trying to sneak up on Ziyi Yan first. Flame Sword C. Ziyi Yan killed with one sword, and the surface burned with raging fire. This is the group attack skill of the magic swordsman, with a higher percentage than the Sea of Fire, but the flame can only last for 1 second. Far less than the 1 minute of the Sea of Fire. The next second, Jinzhou was burned by the flames, entered the attack state, and showed his figure. After all, the Flame Sword C is a large-scale skill, and the damage is not that high, but it is very good to use it to break the assassin's stealth. Wind Step. Ziyi Yan shouted softly and rushed towards Jinzhou. At this time, a small whirlwind covered her feet, which made her move much faster. A magic swordsman, as the name suggests, is a magic swordsman with various magic sword skills and magic skills, which is magic output. The magic swordsman prefers cloth armor, but Ziyi Yan is wearing leather armor, and her speed is no less than that of an assassin. Jinzhou's face sank, and he went up to meet him. Both sides began to move in an arc, looking for each other's flaws and preparing to start. Swish. Ziyi Yan suddenly stabbed with a sword, and Jinzhou's face was happy, and he quickly dodged and slashed at Ziyi Yan's left shoulder. Sister Xiao is still too young, and her temper is a little impatient, while Brother Zhou is much more experienced. His sword is a shadow attack. After hitting, he will definitely teleport to Sister Xiao's back, and after hitting her with a club, he will kill her instantly. The captains sighed in their hearts, and it turned out that the old ones are still the best. But at this moment, Ziyi Yan swept her sword across, slashing Jin Zhou's lower abdomen before he could, knocking him back and causing him to fall into a short state of stiffness. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 232. Ziyi Yan is a level 30 Imperial weapon with 9 pieces. The damage is off the charts. Even if it is just a flat attack, it should kill Jin Zhou instantly. However, in the PK field, the 30-level player automatically turns on the balance system. No matter how strong you are, flat attacks can only take away 10% of the opponent's life at most. Skills can only take away 20% of the opponent's life at most. There is no instant kill. In online games, there are always some self-important people who think they have super skills even though they have a set of rubbish equipment can't deal damage. I just have bad equipment. If I have good equipment, I will definitely beat you. In fact, people with real skills will not have bad development and their equipment must be very good. Bad equipment, in practical terms, means that the strength is not enough. It's just that those people feel good about themselves and don't know it. The balance system in the PK field is not friendly to people like them. The balance system only weakens the damage of top players. If low-end players can't break the defense, they still can't break the defense, and it is impossible to increase their output. Ziyi Yan turned around and swept across, which was a flat slash, knocking off 10% of Jin Zhou's life and causing him to be temporarily paralyzed. Small tornado. Ziyi Yan swung her sword and sent out a tornado about 3 yards high, sweeping Jin Zhou into the air, spinning with the tornado. The small tornado is not considered control, but it has an effect similar to control. Because Jin Zhou was trapped in the tornado, he couldn't do anything. Ziyi Yan chased him and slashed wildly, averaging 2 flat slashes and adding 1 skill, and took Jin Zhou away in less than 2 seconds. Sister Xiao is so fast, and brother Zhou is just a little slower, what a pity, someone exclaimed under the ring. In his opinion, as long as Jin Zhou's shadow attack hits, Ziyi Yan will fall. After the PK, Jin Zhou stood up quickly, clapped his hands, and humbly praised, Sister Xiao is gifted. She is young but has extraordinary strength. Jin admires her. Jin Zhou lost calmly, but his attitude was sincere, which made the top 10 captains nod their heads secretly. Defeat is defeat, what if? Ziyi Jin defeated her, that is the real strength. Next, Ziyi Yan was extremely cold and arrogant, and she didn't even look at Jin Zhou, which immediately made Jin Zhou's face stiff. As time passed, Ziyi Yan was like a female sword god, triumphant all the way, and defeated 29 top captain level masters in a row. You know, among these 29 people, there are also a few who have a set of 9-piece set of level 30 Imperial weapons, and their combat power is no less than Ziyi Yan, but they still lost. This shows that Ziyi Yan does have extraordinary strength. As the saying goes, the waves behind push the waves ahead. The ancients were right, the captain's side, and finally set their sights on Huang Xiaolong. Then, they all shook their heads with a smile, quite disdainful. Huang Mao is the captain of the first team of the Demon God War Hall. The captains are equal and each leads his own team. But the captain of the first team is obviously superior and should have a higher status and be more respected. However, everyone knows that Huang Mao is Xian Ji's younger brother. He got in through the back door. Huang Mao is too young and has low qualifications. He relies on his status and never participates in Xian Ji's large-scale operations. He is too free and undisciplined. How can these captains accept him? Born by the same parents, this yellow-haired guy is so far inferior to the boss Xian Ji. Hey, the boss Xian Ji is a dragon among men, ordinary people can't reach him. They are both young, but Xiao Xiao is 100 times better than this yellow-haired guy. He only has a superior family background, and he looks like a playboy no matter how you look at him. He obviously got in through the back door, and he sits firmly in the position of captain of a team, but he doesn't blush or feel nervous, which shows how shameless he is. The yellow-haired guy is alone in the Demon God Guild, and all the captains treat him coldly. By the way, I heard that this yellow-haired guy and Xiao Xiao were boyfriend and girlfriend before, but... A captain hesitated to speak, gloating. Ha, he really doesn't deserve Xiao Xiao. He is quite pitiful to be dumped by a woman. There must be something hateful about a pitiful person. How could a playboy be favored by a real goddess? Everyone gathered together, whispering, pointing fingers at the yellow-haired guy. Their voices were not loud, but the yellow-haired man heard them clearly and snorted coldly. The last one, the angry beauty, do you still need me to invite you up? Ziyan looked down at him, raised her smooth chin slightly, and said arrogantly. The yellow-haired man narrowed his eyes and walked onto the stage with a cold face. He glanced at Ziyan very presumptuously and sneered, Ziyan, you are really good. You climbed up my brother's high branch, and you climbed faster than me. The captains, especially the captains of the Demon God Guild, are all elites among elites, masters among masters, and they are very popular outside. But within the Demon God, the captain is not considered a real high level, at most only a middle level. The real high level is the president, vice president, and even the president's main group. There are a total of 50 people in that group. Any one of them is stronger than the captain. If the captain continues to rise, he will enter the president's main group. And Ziyan is one of the real high level of the Demon God. Wow! Everyone in the arena burst into laughter, thinking that he was shameless. You are a playboy, and you got the backdoor to become the captain of the first team, which is already good. Without real ability, you still want to continue to rise? There is a big capital holding behind the Demon God. Do you really think that the Demon God is opened by your brother? Huang Yuxuan and I are well matched, so it's not like I'm trying to climb up the social ladder. Ziyan said coldly, also, I was promoted faster than you because of my strength. Look at how decadent you are now, it's really ridiculous. You and he are well matched, but aren't you and I well matched? Huang Mao's eyes were red, and he felt uncomfortable holding his breath in his heart. He stared at Ziyan and gritted his teeth. Huang Mao has a superior family background and is handsome. He just hooks his finger and there will be beautiful women throwing themselves into his arms and actively sticking to him. But the woman he loves most has left him. More importantly, the one who snatched his woman away was actually his own brother. Such a bloody thing happened to him, you can imagine how much resentment he has in his heart. He can usually endure it, but when he sees Ziyan, his heart is filled with hatred and anger. Haha, Huang Mao, you still don't give up? Xiaoji is your sister-in-law now. If you still care about her, you are a disloyal and unrighteous person. Fei Tianj, the captain of the third team, laughed. Humph, now is the assessment, Captain Yinu Hongyan, please respect yourself, Ziyan asked Huang Mao with a cold face. Huang Mao took a deep breath and said, Ziyan, you dare to challenge me? Have you forgotten that I taught you all your skills? A few years ago, online games were still on the computer keyboard. I could crush you with one hand on the keyboard. Today is different from the past. If you are noisy and unwilling to cooperate, I will remove you from the position of captain. You know I have this right. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 233. Ziyan's face was cold, but she admitted that she had learned skills from Huang Mao. When the captains heard this, their eyes suddenly bulged and their faces were full of disbelief. This, Huang Mao is so strong? He also taught Sister Xiao, I can't tell. You are talking about the past. After a few years, everything has changed a lot. Look, the PK has begun. For a moment, the captain's views on Huang Mao changed, but they immediately returned to normal. 2 years ago, Sister Xiao might still be a newcomer at that time, but she was gifted and now she can stand on her own. If Huang Mao is really strong now, why can't he climb faster than Sister Xiao? While everyone was talking, the PK on the ring began. Huang Mao had golden hair, and his originally gentle and handsome face collapsed, looking resolute and full of diamonds. He was dressed in a yellow python robe, holding a flame gun, and stood upright. Yellow python robes, black python robes, and purple python robes are all imperial robes, which are the most expensive and coolest fashions in Taixu. A set costs nearly 20,000 RMB. In fact, it's only 20,000 RMB. The captains of the demon gods can afford it, but they dare not buy it. The guild has no explicit regulations, but only the president and several vice presidents can wear imperial robes. If others also wear them, wouldn't it imply that they are on an equal footing with the president? Huang Mao had no concerns, or he didn't obey Xianji in the first place. A set of yellow python robes stood out among the captains. Charge! When the countdown ended, Huang Mao pulled out a white light behind him and rushed up quickly. Charge is a rush skill, but it does not cause any damage. Huang Mao used the charge to get quite close to Ziyi Yan, raised the spear in his hand, and smashed it towards Ziyi Yan. Ziyi Yan's expression remained unchanged, and she decisively swept out a small tornado. If she rolled up the yellow-haired man, he would be unable to resist within 2 to 3 seconds, and that would almost mean he had lost half the battle. However, the yellow-haired man seemed to have calculated Ziyi Yan's moves, and directly cancelled the flat slash, retracted the spear, and blocked it across his chest. Bang bang bang. The small tornado as high as 3 meters was like countless wind blades cutting into the yellow-haired man, causing some damage to him, but it could not be rolled up anyway. Parry, meet the enemy's frontal attack, and will not be repelled, knocked away, knocked down or stiffened. Huang Mao's move is good. He seems to have predicted Sister Xiao's moves and targeted them. That's right. If it depends on reaction alone, no matter how fast Huang Mao is, he will definitely not have time to release the parry. The only possibility is that he predicted Sister Xiao's moves and had a good idea in his mind. It seems that Huang Mao is very strong. With this move alone, he is not a dandy. Everyone was very surprised, thinking that Huang Mao was just hiding his strength before. The small tornado failed to roll up Huang Mao and disappeared in less than half a second. Wake up! Huang Mao held a 1.8-meter long flame gun in his hand, but he danced it flexibly. Soon he pointed the gun handle upwards and tapped it on Ziyi Yan's smooth forehead. The next moment, Ziyi Yan's eyes turned white, and a circle of constantly rotating golden stars appeared above her head, and she fell into a dizzy state. Wake up, it is a skill of night, and it must be released with a spear, which can stun the enemy, and it is a control skill. Whirlwind Thorn. Huang Mao danced wildly with the flame spear, sweeping out circles of fire waves, burning Ziyi Yan, causing Ziyi Yan to lose blood continuously. Huang Mao is a level 30 Emperor weapon 9-piece set, with explosive damage, using a multi-stage attack skill such as Whirlwind Thorn, which is enough to easily kill Ziyi Yan in seconds. But because of the limitations of the PK field balance system, even if he swept the Whirlwind Thorn, he could only take away 20% of Ziyi Yan's life. It took more than a second, and Huang Mao used the Whirlwind Thorn to sweep more than 10 times, taking away about 15% of Ziyi Yan's life. He immediately changed his clothes, flame dagger, small round shield. Whirlwind Thorn is also a skill of night, and it must be used with a spear. Huang Mao changed his clothes to a dagger and a small round shield, and automatically cancelled the Whirlwind Thorn. After being swept by the Whirlwind Thorn, Ziyan was still in a short state of stiffness, her head tilted back, her eyes turned white, her body was stiff, and she could not move. Stiffness usually lasts for half a second at most, unless the player stiffens the enemy in a loop. In Taeju, the higher the strength of the physical profession, the greater the chance of hitting stiffness. The higher the intelligence of the magic profession, the greater the chance of hitting stiffness. On this basis, it is also necessary to have an extremely high attack speed, or even some skills with additional stiffness, in order to make the enemy enter a loop of stiffness, directly kill the enemy, and the enemy is powerless to resist. Of course, at this stage, players do not have that kind of super high attack speed, and it is almost impossible to make the enemy stiff in a loop. Taking advantage of Ziyan's stiffness of less than half a second, Huang Mao slashed with a knife, taking away 10% of Ziyan's life. Just when Ziyan was about to wake up from the stiff state. Shield strike. Huang Mao slapped out with a shield, and once again stunned Ziyan. Oh my god, Huang Mao pretends to be a pig to eat the tiger? He is so strong. Someone exclaimed, and the others nodded. Even the top 5 captains were bright-eyed. Huang Mao's grasp of the PK rhythm, the calculation of the half-second stiffness, and the use of the 2 controls have all reached a superb level. Apart from his talent, it is probably impossible to reach this level without playing tens of thousands of games. While the captains were exclaiming, Huang Mao attacked again, leaving Ziyan with only the last 10% of her life. Of course, this is also the balance system of the PK field. If it were in the wild, with Huang Mao's combat power, Ziyan would have been killed in seconds. Change of clothes, flame spear. A flash of white light, the flame dagger and small round shield in Huang Mao's hand disappeared, replaced by the previous flame spear. Spiral gun kill. Huang Mao's arm shook, and the flame spear in his hand, like a rapidly rotating drill, stabbed towards Ziyan's delicate white neck with waves of burning fire in the shocked eyes of the captains. In this PK, except for the beginning, Ziyan has been in a state of stiffness and dizziness, and is far from Huang Mao's opponent. Just when the captains thought that Huang Mao was going to take Ziyan down, the rapidly rotating spearhead stopped at Ziyan's neck, half an inch away. Huang Mao's eyes were red, and he couldn't stab it. Ziyan was so gentle before, he couldn't believe it. In just half a year, she became so cold and unkind to him. Ziyan, Huang Yuxuan must have forced you. You have your reasons. Tell me. I believe you. Huang Mao's eyes were red, staring at Ziyan's eyes, and roared. There are 80,000 words in the world, but only the word of love hurts people the most. Huang Mao thought his heart was as hard as a rock, but he had to admit that when facing Ziyan, there would be flaws. The people under the ring stared at Huang Mao and Ziyan, sighing. They finally understood that Huang Mao was not a fool at all, he just loved too much. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 234. In Taeju, players have a title book by default, which can store countless titles. There are only 10 title grids in the title book. That is to say, players can wear up to 10 titles, all of which are valid. Among them, players can only pin one title. Huang Mao pinned a title on his head, 2 golden characters, King. This is an honorary title in the PK field. There are 5 levels in the Park field: Apprentice, Expert, Master, King, Supreme. Huang Mao has reached King. I just vaguely guessed that Huang Mao has played tens of thousands of PK games, but I didn't expect him to really reach King. The captain stared at the 2 words on Huang Mao's head that flashed golden light and looked quite dazzling, and exclaimed. Among them, the strongest is Master. There is only 1 level difference between Master and King, but it is a full 10 levels. I don't know how many tens of thousands of games he has to win to become King. Moreover, Huang Mao's title of King is shining with gold. I'm afraid it's not as simple as King 1. Maybe he has already reached the limit of King 10, half a step into the Supreme. You know, it's only been more than 2 months since the launch of Taixu. There is not even a Supreme in the Chinese war zone alone. The title of King is already the top at this stage. Huang Mao has reached this level now. In the future, he will definitely have a place in the Supreme. Ziyan, or do you think I'm not as good as Huang Yuxuan? You can stay with me. Not to mention Huang Yuxuan, even if I dominate the whole server, I can do it for you, Huang Mao said madly. He knew that Ziyan was not that kind of person before, but now, he is not sure. Ziyan has really changed. But he has fallen deeply in love, and he is unwilling to regret it. How can it be easy to give up the only woman he loves? Staring at Huang Mao's handsome but somewhat crazy face, Ziyan's pupils trembled slightly, but were replaced by determination in an instant. Huang Yuxuan and I are truly in love, don't be unreasonable. Ziyan snorted coldly, and amid the sighs of the crowd below the stage, she stabbed at Huang Mao with a sword, and then quickly hit him. Huang Mao was stunned, with deep disappointment and sadness in his eyes. He had a miserable smile on his face. He was slashed by Ziyan's sword, but he felt pain in his heart and was indifferent until he was killed by Ziyan and fell to the ground. Humph, the 30 captains of the battle hall are usually so powerful, but I didn't expect them to be all idiots. Ziyan swung her long sword and snorted coldly. Under the stage, all the captains were dumbfounded. Ziyan said sarcastically, and without saying anything more, she directly withdrew from the PK field and left. The captains cursed inwardly and left one after another. Some of them scolded Ziyan for being merciless, while others scolded Huang Mao for being a coward. He had the strength to defy the heavens, but was defeated by a woman, and caused the old men to be scolded as well. Captain Jin Zhou of the 5th team stepped onto the stage and stared at the distraught Huang Mao. He shook his head secretly, walked up and patted Huang Mao on the shoulder, and then fled. In such a large PK field, Huang Mao was left alone on the stage. Xinwu Empire, Ping'an City. At this time, Yang Tian had come to the front of national warrior Caesar. Although Caesar was an event NPC, he did not leave immediately after the event ended, but would stay here until midnight on December 1st. In front of Caesar, in addition to Yang Tian, there were countless players who were using red flags to find Caesar to exchange for suits. Yang Tian summoned Xiao Jin and gave it the 8.1 million red flags that had been prepared long ago, asking it to find Caesar to exchange for the 30-level Imperial Weapon 9-piece set. The sudden appearance of Xiao Jin made the surrounding players exclaim. Xiao Jin is a royal beast, his real name is Thunder Skeleton King. He is 3 meters tall, strong and powerful, with purple arcs flashing all over his body. He is a big boss at first glance. What a big skeleton boss. A 3-meter tall skeleton should be a royal beast. Monster attacking the city? It doesn't seem like it, it doesn't seem to have any intention of attacking. Could it be the pet of a great god? Impossible. The current number 1 pet ranking in the Chinese war zone is the Lord's War pet, and this purple gold skeleton is a royal beast. Everyone exclaimed, but they couldn't understand what kind of existence Xiao Jin was. Yang Tian was in the group of players, and everyone around him was shocked, but he laughed secretly. After a while, Xiao Jin bought a 9-piece set of level 30 royal weapons. There are a total of 11 parts. Under Yang Tian's will, it emptied the bracelet and ring. Immediately afterwards, Yang Tian and Xiao Jin came to Ping'an Bridge and found the gem merchant Mike. Seeing Yang Tian and Xiao Jin walking together, everyone was even more surprised. They followed them to the Nahi Bridge and blocked Mike together. Of course, the one they really wanted to block was Yang Tian. Damn, brother, where did you get this skeleton? It's not a battle pet, is it a battle servant? Dad, did you get it by completing a task? I'll give you 100 silver coins, Poor man, I hope you can tell me the task process. Go, 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 100 silver coins, want to get the royal beast war pouncing? Why don't you go to heaven? I'll give you 200 silver coins. I'll give you 300 silver coins. Everyone started to make a fuss, wishing they could kneel down and call Yang Tian daddy. This is also normal. After all, getting a royal beast war pouncing now is simply a hero. Yang Tian smiled bitterly. Xiao Jin was too big to be disguised and hidden. He knew that this would happen, but he had no way. Unless Xiao Jin devours souls and evolves to the level of a spirit beast, he can grow or shrink, but it is unknown how long it will take. Yang Tian handed the 835 level advanced light gems that he had prepared to Xiao Jin. Xiao Jin quickly met the conditions and opened 7 gem slots. Yang Tian bought another crystal mine cave ticket, took Xiao Jin back, crushed the ticket, and went to the crystal mine cave to brush mutant crystals so that Xiao Jin could meet the conditions to open the 8th gem slot. In reality, the general manager's office in the God of Fury studio. After Huang Mao went offline, he lay on the leather sofa and applied a piece of wet gluten to his red, swollen, and sour eyes. Huang Mao was silent, but his mind was like a revolving lantern, replaying countless scenes of his sweet relationship with Ziyi Yan. There was Ziyi Yan's sweet smile, Ziyi Yan's willful pouting, the two of them drinking a cup of wine, and the two of them feeding each other sweetly. There was also the scene of the two of them under the flowers and the moon, with Ziyi Yan shy. Huang Mao gradually began to laugh, but his heart ached slightly, as if being pricked by needles. Dong dong, there was a knock on the door. Huang Mao took a deep breath, took off his face towel, and said, "Come in." Immediately, Green Algae Head, Ghost Hand, and Lang Ling pushed the door open and walked in. Lang Ling stood straight, flipped through the documents in his hand, and said, "Boss, the God of Fury is already a LV3 guild with 2,999 members. The last position, that is, the president, is left to you. The number of elite players who have signed contracts has reached 1,150, and the rest are masters above level 30. At present, we have the initial capital to fight the demon god. Super God Undead Lord." Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 235. Then, let's start the war. The yellow-haired man's face became serious, and he said, "The demon god has placed a guild teleportation array in the Tianlan Empire to build a bridge for the guild elites to kill enemy players, earn merits, strive for higher ranks, and start fighting spirit. Our goal this time is to blow up the demon god's guild teleportation array and cut off their free bridge to the Tianlan Empire. The cost of the guild teleportation array is extremely expensive, mainly because the materials are expensive now, and it costs millions of RMB. Only in the later stage will it slowly drop. Now even some giant guilds are reluctant to arrange it casually. The demon god's base camp is in the Guangjao Empire, that is, all members of their guild are basically members of the Guangjao Empire, and they can use the teleportation stones of the major cities of the Guangjao Empire. The later the game is, the faster the player's movement speed will be, and with the teleportation stones of the main city, they can travel freely in their own empire. If the guild teleportation array is arranged in the empire where you are, it will undoubtedly be a bit of a waste. The distance between empires is very far, and there are countless miles between them, and they have to cross the bloody forest. Go once, set up the guild teleportation array, and you can come and go freely in the future. You go down and prepare. Today is our first battle with the demon god. We must blow up their guild teleportation array. Depressing the enemy's morale is to boost our morale." Huang Mao's eyes were stern. Immediately, Lang Ling and the other two quietly left the room and closed the door. "Damn, that's great. I've been waiting for this battle for too long." "Me too." The Green Algae Head and the Ghost Hand looked at each other and smiled. Then they parted with Lang Ling and returned to their own offices. Lang Ling's eyes flashed. He had never forgotten the task assigned to him by Yang Tian. Brother Shui's strength is unfathomable. With his joining, the combat power of our angry gods is likely to double. Xianji is really a piece of shit. I hope Brother Shui can teach him a lesson. Lang Ling groaned and immediately went online to contact Yang Tian. Tianlan Empire, Tianlan City, Orchid Valley. A flash of white light, Huang Mao appeared in the Demon God's Guild teleportation array. As a member of the Demon God, he could of course use the Guild teleportation array. His eyes turned cold, and he directly quit the Demon God. In less than 3 seconds, a senior member of the Angry God invited him to join the guild. System, congratulations on joining the Angry God Guild. System, congratulations on becoming the president of the Angry God. After all, the Demon God is too powerful. Since setting up the guild teleportation array in the Orchid Valley, it has killed a group of players from the Tianlan Empire and made them cry for their parents. Huang Mao teleported here, and there was not a single person in this area of blue leopard monsters. This means that the players of the Tianlan Empire dare not be here, because they will be killed and downgraded. Roar! The beast roared, and a group of blue leopards found Huang Mao in the huge teleportation array, and immediately rushed over and besieged Huang Mao. Because there are no players, there are surprisingly many monsters here. Sweep the army. Huang Mao held a flame gun and swept out. A wave of flames like a sea of waves rushed out fiercely, annihilating all the blue leopards. Huang Mao rushed forward, rushed out of the Demon God teleportation array, and immediately used the power of the president to set up an Angry God teleportation array. Demon God is a LV5 guild. Angry God is a LV3 guild. The two teleportation arrays are close together. Although the Angry God teleportation array is also very large, it is much smaller than the Demon God teleportation array. Swish, swish, swish. In the Angry God teleportation array, white light flashed continuously, and a black mass of heads appeared behind Huang Mao in an instant. 3,000 people from the Angry God gathered together and said, "Boss." The roar was like thunder, with great momentum. "Brothers, today we are going to take action against the Demon God. One general success is the result of the sacrifice of thousands of people. Do you dare to fight with me?" Huang Mao roared. "Dare? Well, kill them and blow up their teleportation array first." Huang Mao waved his hand, and the whole army rushed out, rushed to the Demon God teleportation array and began to attack frantically. However, the Demon God teleportation array ejected a series of steel guards and magic guards, which did not move at all. The guild teleportation array has super high life, super high defense, and super fast blood recovery, repair, speed. Even if thousands of people attack at the same time, it is not easy to blow up the guild teleportation array. The Demon God teleportation array was attacked, and all the members of the Demon God received a system prompt. The next moment, countless white lights flashed on the Demon God teleportation array, and many members of the Demon God teleported over, and the two sides quickly fought together. Countless swords and shadows, magic arrows flying, and even the raging sea of fire on the ground. I don't know how many layers have been superimposed, the power is quite amazing. In the blink of an eye, countless players died in battle, turned into white light and returned to the city to revive, and continued to teleport over and fight again. Which guild are you from? Dare to go against our Demon God, the members of the Demon God shouted. The Demon God is one of the top 10 giant guilds, and ranks second, so its combat power is naturally strong. Almost every one of them has a level 30 gold suit. Captains, including the captains of the gold farming group and the captains of the peripheral groups, are basically equipped with level 30 king weapon sets. They did not expect that the people of the other guild were also extremely powerful, and their equipment and combat power were not inferior to theirs. Angry God. How dare you, a rubbish guild whose name I have never heard of, who gave you the courage to challenge us? Fei Tianj, the captain of the third team of the battle hall, cursed angrily. Immediately, he looked through the crowd and found Huang Mao, and his eyes suddenly bulged. He didn't like Huang Mao in the first place. He used to be the second captain of the war hall. After Huang Mao was airborne, his rank dropped directly, and he had been resentful for a long time. In addition, Huang Mao behaved eccentrically, looked down on everything, and was arrogant, which made him even more unhappy. Huang Mao, did you quit the guild just now? Are you the president of this group of rabble? What a joke, you dare to challenge the devil. Feishan brother rode on the warhorse, sneered, drew his bow through the crowd and aimed at Huang Mao's head, and was about to shoot an arrow. Bang! Suddenly there was a loud bang, and Feishan brother only felt a pain in the back of his head, and then he lost consciousness. A circle of golden stars appeared on his head, and he fell into a dizzy state. What a joke, you are just the third captain, and you dare to talk to our boss. Ghost hand appeared behind Feishan brother with a wicked face, and took Feishan brother away easily with a backstab and piercing the heart. At the same time, the warhorse under Feishan brother also automatically returned to the pet space. You know, when Fei Tianji came, he had already shot and killed many people and had fallen into the red name state. Ghost hand killed him, and he entered the big prison of the city of Sin, and he might not be able to get out for the time being. As time passed, blood flowed like a river between the two teleportation arrays. The number of players on both sides was getting smaller and smaller. Because killing people would make you a red name. And if a red name was killed, he would be locked up in the dungeon for at least an hour. The news that Huang Mao took over as the president of the God of Fury and attacked the demon god spread within the demon god guild in an instant. Among the demon gods, many people knew that Huang Mao was Xianji's biological brother, but they didn't know the story between them. Seeing Huang Mao attacking his biological brother, many people despised Huang Mao very much. For a while, Huang Mao's reputation within the demon god plummeted. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 236. Guangzhou Empire. A group of 50 players are gathering in a certain outdoor map. The leader is tall and handsome, wearing a purple python robe that highlights his elegant and noble temperament. He looks very calm. There is always a faint smile on his lips, as if the world is under his control. He looks quite young, about 27 or 28 years old, and his face is 70% similar to Huang Mao. He is Xianji, Huang Mao's brother. Haha, Xiaolong is still rebellious. Xianji smiled faintly, his face did not fluctuate at all, he seemed to have guessed that Huang Mao would make such a choice. Boss, you won't be soft-hearted just because that kid is your brother, right? A pair of twin brothers said with a grin. The two are about the same age, and look a little younger than Xianji, about 25 years old. Both of them are level 41 berserkers, wearing level 39 P suits of imperial weapons. One is called Tianmo and the other is called Daimo, both are vice presidents of the demon god. It can be said that among the entire demon god, their status is only lower than Xianji. To put it bluntly, if Xianji does something that does not satisfy the capital above, they may let one of the two brothers take over as president. Oh, how could it be? My little brother has no talent, but his personality is arrogant and domineering. This time I teach him a lesson, which is also for his good. I hope he will change his temper. Xianji smiled faintly. The main group of masters, including Tianmo and Daimo, felt horrified. This Xianji, who robbed his younger brother's girlfriend, is now bullying the younger brother and is ready to abuse his younger brother again. He is so cruel and ruthless, but he doesn't change his face and keeps saying that it is for his brother's good. How deep is his scheming? At this time, Ziyi Yan's face suddenly turned cold, and she said, Han Ming, Jinzhou and others have gone offline. After Ziyi Yan climbed up, she became the leader of the Demon God Battle Hall. Naturally, she added the 30 members of the Battle Hall. No, Huang Mao had left, and now there are only 29 members left. She naturally added the friends of the 29 captains. But at this time, 5 captains went offline. She received a system message and her face suddenly sank. The demon was furious. What are you doing? Going offline at this time? And 5 captains went offline at once. What are you doing, Master Xiao? Can't you take down a few captains? Ziyi Yan snorted coldly, and she felt very uncomfortable. She had just taken office as the leader, and she was shunned by her subordinates. More importantly, it was at this critical moment. Could it be that Han Ming and Jin Zhou did it on purpose? Have they been bribed by Huang Xiaolong? Xiao Xiao, you are the leader, go offline to see the situation, Qian Ji said. Ziyi Yan nodded and went offline. In reality, the Demon God Club. It was a building with dozens of floors. The Demon God was the second-ranked gaming guild in China, so it was naturally well capitalized. All members who signed the contract had to clock in at work. The captain level had a special office. Ziyi Yan pushed open the offices of Han Ming, Jinzhou and others one by one, but they were all empty. Okay, very good. Since you are deliberately embarrassing me, don't blame me for removing your captain position, Ziyi Yan sneered. On the other side, in reality, in a private room of a hotel not far from the Demon God building, 4 people were playing mahjong, and another man with green bean eyes, who looked quite wretched and was about 30 years old, was buying horses next to him. He was Jinzhou, the 5th captain of the Demon God War Hall. Old Jin, now is the critical time for the Demon God and the God of Fury to go to war. You are looking for us to play mahjong. Isn't that a bad idea? The woman Hongyan Yuxiao just took office, and you are so disrespectful to her, a big man with a short hair said with a smile. He is Han Ming, the 2nd captain of the Demon God Battle Hall. Of course, when Huang Mao withdrew, he resumed his position as the 1st captain. He is very powerful and is one of the few super tanks in the Demon God. He lost to Ziyi Yan at that time, not because of his lack of skills, but purely because of the limitation of his profession. After all, tanks have almost no output. Old Han, isn't it because you have a cold that I brought my brothers to visit you? Jin Zhou said calmly, with a pair of small eyes like green beans, flashing a wretched light. So that's it. Han Ming and others looked at each other and smiled. By the way, Lao Jin, since you want to help Huang Mao, why don't you bring a few more people to play mahjong? With your face, at least half of our 30 captains will buy it, a captain asked. No, only the 5 of us ask for leave, and our brothers will follow suit. Other captains don't have this courage, and they can't do the step. Han Ming smiled. The 5 of them are not only powerful, but also have great personal charm. Since they dared to come, they were naturally prepared to be targeted by Ziyi Yan and demoted. But they are not afraid, because even if they are demoted, their brothers will only obey them, and they will invisibly sideline the new captain. This is where they are truly powerful. The new captain is in name only, so he is naturally unhappy. At that time, the position of captain will still be theirs. Yes, De Fei does have the courage, but he doesn't like Huang Mao, so there is nothing to say. The captain nodded. Jin Zhou said, I have a good relationship with Huang Mao. I have done my best to help him this time. The rest depends on him. Hearing this, everyone nodded. The Demon God LV5 Guild has 5,000 people. In addition to the 50 senior executives, there are 30 captains in the battle hall, with a total of 1,500 people. The remaining 3,000 people cannot be compared with them. And the 5 of them, 5 groups, a total of 250 people, are almost the strongest in the battle hall. Jinzhou has done his best to achieve this. Han Ming, Jinzhou, and others are not in the office because they asked for leave, Ziyan said sarcastically after going online. Take leave? Master Xiao, I really don't know how you manage your subordinates. At such a critical moment, they asked for leave, Tianmo sneered. You are the previous master, but you are also the master. I am afraid you have developed bad habits. Don't worry, if you can't manage them, I will brush them for you, Ziyan sneered and retorted. Okay, both of you stop arguing. Now that the war has broken out, everyone follow me to the battlefield. Xiaolong wants to blow up our teleportation array and cut off our bridge with the Tianlan Empire, so we will first blow up his angry god's teleportation array. Xianji smiled, waved his hand, and all the members turned into white light and descended to the Orchid Valley. In the war, as time passed, the number of players on both sides decreased by more than half, and it was no longer increasing. Because those who could not participate in the war were basically killed and imprisoned in the big prison. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 237. Orchid Valley Battlefield. Xianji personally led the main force to come, which greatly increased the momentum of the demon god's side. You know, the 50 main forces of the demon god are all equipped with a 9-piece set of level 30 imperial weapons, and their combat power is off the charts. Haha, Xiaolong, we are brothers. Is it really necessary to fight with swords? You will be the vice president sooner or later. After a few years, when I retire, the president of the demon god will be yours. Xianji looked through the crowd and fell on the yellow-haired man, and laughed heroically. Brothers. Seeing Xianji and Ziyan walking side by side, the yellow-haired man looked ferocious, with veins rolling on his face like a wicked dragon. His eyes were red, and he roared, You even took away the woman I love the most, you are not worthy of being my brother. For a mere woman, you turned against your own brother, you really disappoint me. Xianji shook his head and sighed, from childhood to adulthood, no matter IQ, EQ, talent, or how to deal with people, you are not as good as me. What can you use to compete with me, what can you use to fight me? I don't bother to compete with you for those external things. Now as long as I destroy the demon god you are proud of, I can prove that I am better than you, the yellow-haired man roared. Oh, really? Xianji smiled slightly, and the demons of heaven and earth led the main group to kill, slaughtering all the way, causing the number of people on the side of the angry god to continue to decrease. Follow me, blow up their teleportation array together, the demon of heaven snorted coldly, and each of the demons of earth led a team to rush over. Will I let you succeed? The yellow-haired man sneered, and rushed to the two brothers. He swept the flame gun in his hand and danced, and actually beat the two demon brothers back again and again. The yellow-haired man only made a normal attack, but his attack speed was too fast and his movements were too coherent. If it was a computer mouse and keyboard online game before, it was because the yellow-haired man was too good at operation, which forced the two men back again and again. Spiral gun kill. The yellow-haired man only made a normal attack, and he cut off half of the lives of the two men. Then he suddenly retracted his attack, shook his arm, and the flame gun in his hand was like a rapidly spinning drill, fiercely stabbing towards the belly of the demon. If this hit, the demon would be killed instantly. But at this moment, the main force of the demon god came to the back row, and countless magic arrows, streaking brilliant light in the air, burst towards the yellow-haired man. The yellow-haired man had to retract his attack and use the whirlwind slash again. Bang bang bang. Huang Mao danced wildly with his flaming spear, like a fire shield blocking in front of him. The enemy concentrated fire on the fire shield, almost unable to break his defense, but the fierce force of the concentrated fire pushed him back again and again, causing his feet to poke a several-meter-long gully on the ground. At this time, The HP lost by Tianmo Daimo was restored by the team nurse. The two men laughed grimly, attacked from both sides, and slashed at Huang Mao. Huang Mao fought and retreated, coping awkwardly, his HP dropped straight, and his face was already sweating. In this battle, he has killed countless people, and the red name on his head has long been as red as blood. If he dies in battle, he will go to jail. He cannot lose. If he loses, the God of Wrath will lose. Come on, help the boss share the pressure, Lang Ling roared, and the main force of the God of Wrath rushed out and greeted Tianmo Daimo and others. Huang Mao spent a lot of money to defeat the demon god. The main group of the angry god, all of them have a set of 9-piece set of level 30 imperial weapons. You know, although Xianji is one of the shareholders of the demon god, and even has a lot of shares, there are indeed other capitals behind the demon god. The angry god was founded by Huang Mao alone, and there is no other capital behind it. This time, he really invested a lot. Brother Xiaolong's strength is indeed extremely strong, but there are too many masters in the demon god. Lang Ling sighed secretly, and then looked at the battlefield. The main group of the angry god had been beaten to pieces by Tianmo Daimo and others, and most of them died in an instant. After all, the angry god is just a newly established guild, and it is many times worse than the demon god. The main group of the angry god is at best comparable to the captain group of the demon god, and even some strong captain groups, such as Han Ming's captain group, they can't beat them. And the main group of the demon god, everyone in it is above the captain's level. The gap between the two sides is really too big. What is Brother Shui doing? And he hasn't replied to the message yet. Lang Ling was sweating and secretly anxious. On the other side, the crystal mine cave. Yang Tian took Xiao Jin with him to finally find the mutant crystal. Then he exited the crystal mine and came to the peace bridge again, next to the gem merchant Mike. Xiao Jin handed the mutant crystal to Mike, and the conditions were met, and the 8th gem slot was opened. Thunder Skeleton King, Emperor Beast / Intelligent Life. Level 35. HP, 8.2 million. Basic Physical Attack, 120,000. Light Attribute Attack. Light Strength 2000, Dark Fire Ice Strength 800. Light Resistance 4000, Dark Fire Ice Resistance 2300. Armor Penetration 1100. Dual Protection 1400. Absolute Critical Strike Damage 500%. Ordinary Skills, Heavy Strike, Continuous Slash, Block, Collision, Heavy Weapon Mastery, War Cry. Rare Skills, Slam, Shock, Earth Shattering, Thunder Slash, Thunder Electromagnetic Field. Passive, Earthquake, Thunder. Hiss, what a violent attribute. Yang Tian took a breath. Now with his combat power, he couldn't break Xiao Jin's defense. Of course, it was mainly because Xiao Jin's 4 resistances were too high, and Yang Tian's dark attribute was targeted, with his damage reduced more than 10 times, so naturally he could not break through the defense. However, even if other top players were equipped with non-attribute weapons and were not affected by Xiao Jin's attribute resistance, one skill could only take away less than 50,000 health from Xiao Jin. However, Xiao Jin's health was as high as 8.2 million, so even if he was attacked by top players, he would not be afraid at all. God's left hand, with a level 40 Imperial Weapon 9-piece set, his combat power might be able to fight against Xiao Jin, Yang Tian said secretly. Of course, in the entire Chinese theater, only God's left hand had a level 40 Imperial Weapon 9-piece set. He grasped the opportunity too well. At present, top players are also level 40 and 41, which is enough to buy equipment for a level 40 Imperial Weapon 9-piece set. But now that the event is over, the price of the red flag has skyrocketed unprecedentedly. Now, a level 40 Imperial Weapon 9-piece set cannot be obtained without 5 million RMB. Top players all have a level 30 Imperial Weapon 9-piece set. The event set cannot be traded, and it will inevitably be a waste in the later stage. They probably can't bear to spend money to buy a level 40 Imperial weapon 9-piece set. After all, whether it is level 30 or level 40, it is just a transition level, and it is enough to have enough equipment. Now Xianyuan Longer is level 41, and Yang Tian is reluctant to change her to a level 40 Imperial weapon 9-piece set. By the way, someone seemed to have privately chatted with me just now. Yang Tian flipped through the chat bar and found that it was Lang Ling who privately chatted with him. He was immediately shocked and immediately chatted with him privately. "Brother Shui, you finally replied? We have already started a war with the demon god. The location is Tianlan Empire, Tianlan City, Orchid Valley," Lang Ling said excitedly. "Don't mention the address." With Huang Mao's personality, he must have set up the angry god teleportation array opposite the demon god teleportation array, right? Kick one person out of the guild and add me to the vacant position. I will teleport directly there, Yang Tian said solemnly. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 238. Previous Life, 2137. In the third year of the disaster, humans have initially defeated the giant star bugs that invaded the Earth and regained their dominance on the Earth. Yang Tian witnessed his parents being devoured by disgusting and ugly giant bugs. The scene was like a nightmare and tortured him for 3 years. Yang Tian was full of resentment and rushed into the universe and arrived at the insect star. At that time, Yang Tian saw a horrifying scene. All the giant bugs on the insect star were god-level insects. At that moment, Yang Tian was surrounded by a sea of insects, and there was even an insect man among them. That guy had turned into a human form and was even superior to ordinary god-level insects. Yang Tian was not the opponent of the insect man. He was about to fall, but suddenly someone pushed him away and shot the insect man. "Why are you here too?" Yang Tian turned around and said in shock. The man had a head of golden hair, which was quite eye-catching. Huang Mao stood in midair with a gun, sneering, "Don't be silly, you are my brother, how could I let you come to such a dangerous place alone?" "I am alone, I will die, why do you bother?" Both parents died. Yang Tian could not find any news about Lu Yan at that time. He came to the insect star, he did not plan to go back alive. Huang Mao smiled bitterly, with the same melancholy and loneliness, and said, "What should I worry about? We brothers died together, reincarnated together, and we will be brothers in the next life. In this life, I am a few days younger than you, in the next life, I want to be your brother." He he. Yang Tian and Huang Mao looked at each other and laughed wildly. The two joined forces to deal with the insect man, but they were still no match. They were beaten away by him and fell into the gloomy and terrifying sea of insects like hell. Huang Mao finally left first, and Yang Tian fell with him. He was swallowed by the greedy and ugly giant insect, and his body was gone. Blinking his eyes, Yang Tian suddenly remembered the things in his previous life, and his eyes turned red. Suddenly he smiled again. He had a strange idea. In his previous life, Huang Mao had gone one step ahead of him. If he had not been reborn, perhaps in another world, the two would really become brothers, and Huang Mao would have fulfilled his wish and become the eldest brother. Rebirth, why am I reborn? Am I really the son of destiny? Yang Tian smiled. System, congratulations on joining the Angry God Guild. As the system prompt sounded in his ears, Yang Tian's face turned stern. He opened the guild system and clicked to teleport. Orchid Valley Battlefield. The angry god had been killed and defeated, including Huang Mao Lang Ling. Only a few people were left. The two brothers, Tian Mo Daimo, still led a group to kill Huang Mao and others, and the demon god's large army began to besiege the angry god teleportation array. As time passed, the angry god teleportation array began to shake and the light began to dim. Suddenly, a white light flashed, and Yang Tian descended into the angry god teleportation array. He waved coldly and released the extreme summoning that he had chanted in advance. The next moment, Tianmo Daimo and others appeared 10 summoning arrays, and then a dark army of undead appeared. The number of undead army exceeded 200, trapping them tightly. Tianmo Daimo and others had no time to be shocked. Bang! Yang Tian snapped his fingers. Corpse explosion. Boom! The undead army that had just appeared all exploded, forming a terrifying mushroom cloud and billowing black smoke. When the black smoke dissipated, Tianmo Daimo and others were completely wiped out. Yang Tian was a member of the God of Wrath at the moment, and the guild members were like a team relationship, and they could not hurt each other. Because of this, Yang Tian's corpse explosion did not hurt Huangmao, Langliang and others. Langliang and a few others all took a breath. The army of demons that were attacking the teleportation array of the God of Wrath also stopped their actions at the same time, with their mouths wide open and their eyes wide open. The main group of demon gods led by the 2 vice presidents of Tianmo Daimo were killed in an instant. Huangmao's eyes bulged, his mouth opened wide, and he said in a trembling voice, why are you here?" Immediately, he reacted. Since Yang Tian came out of the angry god teleportation array, he was naturally pulled closer to the angry god guild. Who? Naturally, it was Langliang. Huangmao has a very high IQ. In an instant, he filled in a lot of things he didn't know before. It turned out that Yang Tian knew about his affairs a long time ago. To save his face, he never said it, but secretly brought Langliang over for information output. "Don't be silly, you are my brother. How can I not come if you have something to do?" Yang Tian smiled, stared at the demon gods coldly, and a great passion surged in his heart, saying, "Huangmao, as long as you say a word, let alone a mere demon god, even if it is the sky, I will help you pierce through it." Huangmao's originally red eyes became even redder. He sniffed and felt a sour taste. Brothers turned against each other, and the most beloved woman betrayed. Huangmao felt like the sky was about to fall, but then Yang Tian stood in front of him. "Good brother." Huangmao's heart was filled with emotions and he was extremely moved. "Water god." Water god is actually one of our angry gods, how come I didn't know? Someone just quit the club, and water god should have just been pulled in. Didn't you see that water god and brother Xiaolong are good brothers? The last few remnants of angry god recognized Yang Tian and roared wildly. Yang Tian was slightly stunned. He didn't expect that he would have such a high popularity. "Wow!" Yang Tian waved his hand and summoned Taki Alice. "Ling you don't join the battle today. Stay behind with Alice and protect Alice," Yang Tian said solemnly. He knew that the next battle would still be a tough one. There were many demon masters. Although Xianyuan Longer was strong, his life was limited. He was afraid that Xianyuan Longer would be in danger. If he just stood in the back row to protect Alice, there would not be much danger. At that time, Yang Tian and Huangmao Xiajin would play as the forwards together. There would be very few demons who could really break through. Xianyuan Longer was enough to kill those people and protect Alice's safety. Oh! Seeing Yang Tian so serious for the first time, Xianyuan Longer didn't dare to make trouble. He nodded obediently and retreated to the back row with Alice. "Papa Papa." A monotonous applause sounded. Xianji strode over, stared at Yang Tian, and said, "Muddy water? I have heard of your name." "I dare not, your name Xianji is more famous," Yang Tian said, half ironic and half sincere. Because of the relationship with Huangmao, Yang Tian naturally disdained Xianji's character. But in terms of strength, Xianji is indeed an admirable strong man. The collision between the god of wrath and the god of demon is tantamount to hitting a rock with an egg. Even so, you still dare to go to the battlefield and want to stir up a muddy water. I have to admit that you are very courageous, Xianji smiled. "Boss. Seeing Xianji walking up alone, the demons who were attacking the God of Wrath's teleportation array were quite anxious. After all, Yang Tian's strength has just been revealed, and he is very powerful. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 239. It doesn't matter, you continue to attack the teleportation array, Suanj said calmly. Huang Mao glanced at Xianji's feet, which were the bodies of the demons and demons. Their names were killed by Yang Tian's corpse explosion, but they did not choose to return to the city to resurrect. Because if they choose to return to the city to resurrect, they will be imprisoned in a large prison. If a wet nurse resurrects them within 30 minutes, they can stand up again without the risk of jail. Be careful, he has a group resurrection technique. Huang Mao glanced at Yang Tian and said cautiously. I can't believe that Xianji is actually a wet nurse. What's the power of the nanny? Almost none. Of course, a priest of Suanj's level still has some combat power. It's just that the priest's output skills are too few. And the real strength of Suanj is not in combat power. As soon as Huang Mao finished speaking, Xianji waved his hand and shot out a white light. Under the white light, the demons, and others all stood up. Xianji is a holy priest. He has a holy resurrection that Alice does not currently possess. He can revive friendly troops within a 10-yard radius, and the cooldown time is only 5 minutes. In other words, if no one kills him within 5 minutes, this battle will be endless. Shishi. After the heavenly demon and earthly demon were resurrected, a crimson fighting spirit surged up from their bodies, wrapping them like a flower bud. When the imperial warrior reaches the rank of major, he can activate his fighting spirit. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, each color represents a certain level of fighting spirit. The crimson color is the fighting spirit of LV1, which proves that all the demons have the rank of major. The damage is doubled and the enemy's damage is reduced by half. Yellow-haired boy, I didn't expect that you are quite powerful. I heard that you are already a king in the PK field. The demon sneered and said, stupid, you are spending your time in the wrong place. If you spend your PK time killing enemy players, with your strength, you must also be a major. Old demon also sneered. They are just the kings of the PK field. With their strength, they can go up anytime and anywhere. It is not difficult even for their superiors. But can the PK field title be compared with the military rank title? Just talking about fighting spirit, it is extremely powerful, that is double the attributes. The direct doubling effects in Taegzu are only attribute strength, skills, and critical damage, and the rest is fighting spirit. Each of these is extremely important. After all, doubling it is not something that a few basic attributes can compare with. Immediately, the demon stared at Yang Tian again and sneered slightly. There is no empire emblem on Yang Tian's chest. Taegzu has been in service for more than 2 months. Those who still don't have the empire emblem are 100% hidden empire players. This type of people did not have military ranks or fighting spirit before the restoration of the country. And your boy's corpse explosion is indeed very strong. It actually hit us all. The demon talked eloquently and said, however, the power of the corpse explosion depends on the number of undead. The whole group of your undead just now will be wiped out, and it will take a minute to cool down. In 1 minute, you will definitely lose. Yang Tian nodded secretly. Tian Mo's analysis was quite reasonable. After the corpse explosion, the summoning skills of his 10 undead groups all entered a 1-minute cooldown. Although in addition to the 10 groups of undead, he also has some undead, but the number is not large, and the power of the corpse explosion is not great. Stop talking nonsense. Take my shot first. Huang Mao sneered and swept out with a shot, setting off a firestorm like a wave. This is a massive attack that sweeps through thousands of troops and causes high damage. Huangmao has 20,000 basic attack power, 1,500 firepower, absolute critical hit, 5 times critical hit damage, plus the percentage of skills. The combat power of sweeping thousands of armies is as high as more than 15 million, and it is a group attack. Iron Wall. The main tank and deputy tank of the demon god's main force roared, and the giant shields in their hands were enlarged countless times, forming a copper wall and an iron wall, blocking the entire team. There was an explosion, and the two iron walls were motionless. The two tanks behind the iron walls, and even the entire team, were even more indifferent. Shield warriors generally do not need a 9-piece set of royal weapons, but only a 6-piece set. Goblin Royal Weapon 9-piece set effect, absolute critical hit, 5 times critical hit damage. Shield warriors don't need high output. They don't need the 9-piece Imperial weapon set. The free space can be used to wear high defense, high resistance, or double guardian equipment. Huangmao seems to be very powerful. The opponent's shield warrior's attribute resistance was at least 2,000. By simply offsetting Huangmao's 1,500 firepower, Huangmao's 15 million strong combat power was reduced to 1 million. On this basis, the opponent still has residual attribute resistance, and can even double guard to further reduce damage. Huangmao's blow only knocked out the two shield warriors with 50,000 lives each, which was not much. Huangmao's attack failed, so Yang Tian decisively transformed into a Black Knight, and threw out another attack that swept across the entire army, setting off black flames like waves. Yang Tian has a basic attack power of 40,000 and a dark power of 650 points. Huangmao has a basic attack power of 20,000 and a fire power of 1,500. In fact, Yang Tian's combat power was not as high as Huangmao's, but the iron walls of the opponent's two shield warriors had cooled down. Although Yang Tian couldn't kill the two tanks, it was enough to kill some people behind the tanks instantly. The surging black fire waves rapidly enlarged the pupils of the demons, and the faces of the demons sank. The red douqi on the body, like flower buds, suddenly changed shape and turned into two red light wings, which were inserted behind the demons. Douqi turned into wings. Douqi originally has two forms. The flower bud form is the basic form, which has doubled combat power and damage reduction effect. Douqi can be turned on and off as you like, it lasts forever and has no CD. However, Douqi consumes a lot of mana, and it is not just ordinary mana consumption, but percentage mana consumption. The flower bud Douqi in the basic form consumes 1% of mana per second. Even if you have 100 million mana, you will lose 1 million mana per second, and it can last up to 100 seconds. Of course, you can recover mana, but you may not be able to recover. The second form, Douqi turned into wings. There is no doubling of combat power and no damage reduction effect, but the flying ability is turned on and the movement speed is increased. The higher the Douqi LV, the greater the increase in movement speed. LV1 Douqi wings, in fact, only increase the movement speed by 10%. Of course, the flying ability is indeed a bit cool. Douqi wings consume more mana, 10% of mana per second. In other words, Douqi wings can only last for 10 seconds at most, and the mana cannot be restored at all. Moreover, most people dare not use Douqi wings for 10 seconds, because they must save mana to deal with the next battle. Otherwise, without output skills, the combat power will be reduced by many times. The demons of heaven and earth flew into the sky at a rapid speed. At the same time, Yang Tian swept out. Boom! The surging black flames swept past, and the two super tanks did hold on, but half of the main group of demons died directly. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 240. Zilulu. Yang Tian maintained the Black Knight form and summoned the Undead War Horse. At this moment, Yang Tian directly rode on the Undead War Horse, and the horse galloped out. War tramples. I saw the hooves of the Undead War Horse raised up, and then suddenly slammed down, but the opposing team's concentrated fire was already coming. Yang Tian flashed quickly and abandoned the Undead War Horse. Bang bang bang. In the explosion, the Undead War Horse was destroyed almost instantly, and even the War Trample could not be knocked out. The Undead transforms into a ghost assassin. Spin stab. After teleporting, Yang Tian stood up, rushed into the back row of the enemy group, turned around, and shot some sharp darts in all directions, hitting 7 or 8 people in a row. Shadow attack. Yang Tian used a shadow attack in front to make up for a warrior with residual health, and then turned into an afterimage and flew behind Suange. He raised the knife and lowered it, with the extremely sharp dagger in his hand, stabbing Xiangehao's vest. However, Suange seemed to have eyes on his back. He waved his hand and a light shield popped up behind his back, immune to Yang Tian's heart-piercing attack. Light system, no elemental shield. Light shield, not counted as elemental shield, effect, immune to 1 damage. There is quite a sense of invincibility, although only for a moment. BT, Suange spit out 2 letters. The several mage archers beside him concentrated their fire and crushed Yang Tian. Yang Tian naturally turned over and dodged. He now moved at an amazing speed, and he could move out of the way with ordinary skills. Xiange spit out letters in succession. Each string of letters represented an instruction. Only the elite members of the Demon God Guild could understand the instructions. The entire regiment carried out the order and forcefully forced Yang Tian back. If it weren't for Yang Tian, if he were an ordinary person, he might have been left behind by them. Large-scale wars change rapidly. The group leader cannot take care of all members and can only issue some simple instructions, such as killing someone first, focusing fire on all members, tank defense, etc. In fact, if you achieve the step and command correctly, you are already an excellent leader, which means that he has a strong sense of combat and can grasp the battle situation easily. But their brains are not strong enough. They clearly see the battle situation of everyone, but they are unable to make so many reactions in an instant. Secondly, even if he responded, his speaking speed was not fast enough to issue more than a dozen or even dozens of instructions in succession. No one has that kind of speed of speech, and even if they have a rough tongue, they can't achieve it. It would be even worse if they give wrong instructions in a hurry. Suange can do it, truly control the whole group. His brain is very powerful, his reactions are excellent, but his speech speed is not enough, so he uses letters instead of giving instructions. He alone can integrate the combat power of a large group into a whole. In a true sense, use the team's strengths to 100%. This is the truly terrifying thing about his Suange. Awesome. Yang Tian sighed sincerely. Planning strategies and commanding armies, at the tactical level, Suange has reached the extreme. He said he is second in the world, but I am afraid no one dares to say he is first in the world. It is almost impossible to defeat Suange on a tactical level. Even if Yang Tian was given twice the military strength and 1 year of training time, Yang Tian would still be far from Suange's opponent at the tactical level. So, there is actually only one way to defeat Suange, and that is to crush him with pure combat power. Of course Yang Tian can't do it now. In terms of equipment attributes, everyone in the Demon God's main group is not far behind him. Under Xiange's control, a team seemed to merge into a whole, and its true combat effectiveness was unknown. Xiaojin can do it. With a violent roar, Xiaojin appeared in front of Yang Tian. He was tall and powerful, helping Yang Tian withstand a wave of enemy fire. The main group of demon gods all have 9-piece sets of level 30 imperial weapons, which are very powerful. However, when they hit Xiaojin, they could only deal 30,000 to 50,000 damage. A wave of concentrated fire, less than 500,000 damage. Xiaojin has a life expectancy of 8.2 million, which is not false at all. Xiaojin is 3 meters tall, wears an imperial suit, and holds an imperial giant sword. He looks majestic and domineering. The equipment in Taixu automatically fits the size. When Xiaojin put on the imperial weapon suit, it naturally fit him very well, especially the imperial sword. When held by it, it became nearly 3 meters long. It was a real giant sword. A 3-meter tall skeleton, an imperial beast, Xianji's eyes stern. If it were an ordinary level 35 imperial beast, he would not be afraid at all, because he could easily crush it with a group. But on the basis of Xiaojin's level 35 imperial beast, plus the 9-piece set of imperial weapons, his attributes are very violent. Players who want to win the big boss must need high-end equipment, and the big boss has a set of high-end equipment. How terrifying it is. Xianji spit out a string of letters and issued an order. At the same time, Yang Tian also controlled Xiaojin to use the electromagnetic field. In the next second, Xiaojin and the entire Demon God's main team were almost all charged. Only Yang Tian and Suanj still maintain their fighting strength. Xianji always moves behind the team. As a priest, he hardly participates in the battle. Divine Cleansing. A circle of golden light popped up from Suanj's body and spread 50 yards, dispelling the paralysis on his subordinates and waking them up. Extreme Call. Yang Tian summoned 3 teams to control the undead at the same time, and almost at the same time, he controlled everyone in the enemy team again. At this time, after all, less than half of the enemy group remained. Yellow hair. Yang Tian roared, and he and Huang Mao charged into the empire, slaughtering crazily and killing crazily. The opponent was controlled, like a wooden stake, without any resistance. Thunder Punishment. Xianji sneered and raised the staff in his hand. Crack, several thick lightnings struck down from the sky. The speed of lightning was incredibly fast, and it was impossible to avoid it unless it was predicted in advance. However, Yang Tian and Huang Mao did not predict Xianji's thunder punishment. With a bang, the two were instantly killed by lightning. The whole body was charred and fell to the ground. You know, the priest's intelligence is equivalent to increasing the amount of treatment. In other words, the priest also focuses on intelligence, and the basic magic attack is not inferior to the mage. The main reason for the priest is that there are too few output skills. Even if you play to the maximum level, I am afraid there are only a few. Because of this, in terms of real combat power, the priest is far from the opponent of the mage. But every skill of the priest was handled by Xianji, so his combat power was naturally off the charts, and he took down Yang Tian Huang Mao in an instant. Boom! At the same time, the demons made a full-scale attack and finally blew up the teleportation array of the God of Fury, turning into blue star powder and dissipating between heaven and earth. The demons rushed up, and Xiaojin woke up from the control at the same time, and the two sides continued to kill. Xiaojin danced wildly with a 3-meter-long giant sword, killing madly, and almost every second would inflict a huge blow to the demon. Xianji ordered, and once again controlled Xiaojin, focusing fire, causing Xiaojin's HP to drop straight down. Resurrection. A nurse of Alice and the God of Fury finished chanting, and Yang Tian Huang Mao stood up again.